Whoa. 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 It's the illusion reporting from somewhere on spaceship Earth. Here for another sober Wednesday, dude. We made it. One more Wednesday under our belt. That's right. Smash that like button. Links down below, all that good stuff. David Kelso, Freeze a Bird, Grateful Ed, Master of Reality, SoCo. It's been a long time. Welcome back. Good to see you here for a sober Wednesday. Robert Reefer checking into watch. We cannot get a stable connection, dude. Why is that, dude? Can't we get a stable connection? That's crazy. I wonder if it's the solar or something, dude. Making it real hard, dude. Making it real hard, dude. Stable connections required, man. But anyway, if it just on a pre-note, if you are here for Sober Wednesday and you do need a stable connection, these are broadcast via the podcast link down below. You should be able to go find this podcast on any sort of podcast app. So good luck with that. And with that said, it's Sober Wednesday. This is the hour we've dedicated for who are suffering from those who are suffering. Because there's a lot of people suffering, whatever your suffering may be, dude. And good day, Cactus 64. And yeah, it'll be a tough one. I can tell with the way it's buffering. I don't know. Big storm a coming, dude. Big storm a coming. I don't know what's up with that, dude. Well, we're gonna persevere. We're gonna plow through this situation, dude. And we're going to do the deal here. So how it works is this hour dedicated to those who suffer. And I just ask that you keep the stream open to someone who might actually need to get some sort of help or look for some sort of solution, whatever the problem is that's got you jammed up, thinking that life may not be worth living or life's better off spent high and loaded and drunk and crazy and out of your mind. There is a solution. So how it works, we open up with the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. Amen. All right. We're fired up on that. We can get down with that. And well, there is a solution, dude. There is a solution. So before we get started here, we'll do the little preamble on this, dude. I read chapter 5, how it works from the big book Alcoholics Anonymous. This is not associated with Alcoholics Anonymous in any way, shape, or form. We just like how it works. This can be applied to anybody. Just remove the word alcohol and replace it with your ism, dude. Whether that's dramaism or sex or gambling, debt, pornography, cigarettes, sugar, whatever it is, whatever's getting you down and weighting you down, sinking you to the bottom of the metaphysical ocean. These steps work for you. Checking in from the East Coast, Fraud Aliens, how it works. Rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. Those who do not recover are people who cannot or will not completely give themselves to this simple program. Usually men and women who are constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves. There are such unfortunates. They are not at fault. They seem to have been born that way. They are naturally incapable of demanding a man. They are naturally incapable of grasping and developing a manner of living which demands rigorous honesty. Their chances are less than average. There are those too who suffer from grave emotional and mental disorders, but many of them do recover if they have the capacity to be honest. Our stories disclose in a general way what we used to be like, what happened, and what we are like now. If you've decided you want what we have and are willing to go to any length to get it, then you're ready to take certain steps. At some of these we balked. We thought we could find an easier, softer way, but we could not. With all the earnestness at our command, we beg of you to be fearless and thorough from the very start. Some of us have tried to hold on to our old ideas, and the result was nil until we let go absolutely. Remember that we deal with alcohol, cunning, baffling, powerful. Without help, it is too much for us. But there is one who has all power. That one is God. May you find him now. Half measures availed us nothing. We stood at the turning point. We asked his protection and care with complete abandon. Here are the steps we took, which are suggested as a program of recovery. We admitted we were powerless over fill in the blank, whatever you need to admit you're powerless over: sex, relationships, trauma, alcohol, drugs, crack cocaine, pornography, cigarettes, suicidal thoughts, mental illness, whatever it is, dude. We admitted we were powerless over that thing and that our lives had become unmanageable. 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6, we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. 7, humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings and made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9, made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10, continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God, praying only for his knowledge, for his will for us, and the power to carry that out. 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all of our affairs. Many of us exclaimed, "What an order! I cannot go through with it." Do not be discouraged. No one among us has been able to maintain anything like perfect adherence to these principles. We are not saints. The point is that we're willing to grow along spiritual lines. The principles we have set down are guides to progress. We claim spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection. Our description of the alcoholic, the chapter of the agnostic, and our personal adventures before and after make clear 3 pertinent ideas: that we were alcoholic and could not manage our own lives; B, that probably no human power could have relieved our alcoholism; and C, that God could and would if he were sought. Woohoo! Yeah, if he were sought. Man, I've been getting some wet ones this week. I really have, dude. I had a buddy of mine call me up a couple days ago, just called me up at like midnight. I knew he was on a bender, dude. Then I called him back in the morning. He actually texted me first thing in the morning, called him back. Dude was just high on cocaine and alcohol. Just, dude, I can't pull it off. I was like, brother. Oh, brother, dude. What a terrible time to be loaded, man. But there's no shame in asking for help, dude. Like, that's the point. I was super stoked. This dude called me up. We talked. He got loaded again that night. We talked the next day. I contacted one of the tribe who was in his nearby area and was like, dude, will you go escape? Will you and get him to a meeting? And that's how it works, dude. That's how it works. You just got to ask for help. I mean, that's the hardest step of this whole thing, is just asking for help. Just ask for help. Yeah. Catskill hillbilly addiction is a bitch, dude. And so, once you've asked for help, like that's probably the hardest part of this whole deal. Phase two is you just got to show up, which is the next hardest thing. It's funny, my buddy, he's like, my buddy called me back the next day. He's like, I just don't get it, dude. I go, what's there to get, dude? Like, what's there to get, man? What is there to get, dude? Like, that's the problem, dude. You're not supposed to get it. You don't get it. You can't get it. Like, as long as you're in your like suffering addiction, whatever that suffering addiction looks like, you're not gonna get it, dude. Like, that's the trick. That's the ultimate circuit breaker that the ego has stuffed into the front of your consciousness. Is like, I don't get it. Of course you don't. How could you, dude? You're loaded. You're high on whatever it is, whether it's pizzas or bad relationships or drama or whatever it is, dude. You're all hyped up on it, all crazy about it, and you're not gonna get it, dude. That's why you gotta admit you're powerless over it. If you had power over it, you would get it, dude, right? Like that's the rub, dude. The whole thing is the powerlessness, dude. The powerlessness of it all means that you're not going to get it. You can't get it, and you're gonna have to call in God to get it. But you know, it's been like that lately. A lot of people popping their heads up, trying to get to the surface, trying to get on a lifeboat. But it's funny, dude. I'll tell you, this is the interesting thing with addiction. People will literally like swim to the surface of the drowning reality, just big strokes to the top, like stick their head above water, go, get me on the lifeboat. And you'll be like, all right, here's the lifeboat. The lifeboat's called sobriety. And they'll be like, yeah, I don't really get it. Like, I can't figure it out. Like, what's that? Like, huh? It's like, it's that's the craziest part about like addiction or alcoholism or drug, whatever it is, right? Is it's the one disease, and it's a disease for sure, dude. And it's a spiritual malady. It's an allergic reaction, all of that stuff too. But it's the one thing where people actually like look at the cure and be like, you mean like I actually have to do work on myself? Like, you mean I have to like stop killing myself? Yeah, you gotta stop killing yourself, man. That's step one, dude. And so, I look at I look at it and it's fascinating to me. That's the hard part. Like, there's a part of me that's like, it's super annoying. And I don't mean like the person. I mean just the stupidity of it. Like, just the utter waste that it all is. But then that's what I was talking to my friend about, trying to talk him into getting sober or help him to realize he wanted to. Like, it's funny, my buddy called me because he doesn't want to be loaded anymore. And I'm like, this is what you need to do. And it's like, but I don't get it. And it fascinates me because once you get it, you're like, oh, whoa, that is next level radical, whatever that is, dude. Like freedom? You mean that's what freedom looks like, is taking responsibility for my actions, being fully accountable to God and to other people? Like, oh, you mean freedom wasn't just stuffing powders in my nose and pills in my throat and filling my body full of poisonous liquids and you mean that wasn't freedom, dude? I took my coffee to a local AA meeting, gonna donate it to the people can have amazing coffee. May help them stay clean. There you go. Paraplegic coffee, dude. That's the solid. I like that, brother. That's a solid roast. Yeah, it's a solid roast you got going there, dude. a sober roast, man. But yeah, it's a fascinating thing. So, I got a lot of requests the last week to tell the how I got sober story again. And it's in my archives, but it never hurts to tell the story again. Share my experience, dude. Once upon a time, in a lifetime far, far away, there was little old me, 15 years younger, 15 years younger, single, not a care in the world, except I was miserable. So, all right, let me back up the clock. The year, let's just go, the year is 2000, well, 2009, 2009. I'm living in my car at the top of Saddle Peak in the Santa Monica Mountains above Malibu. If you take Las Flores Canyon to Rambla Pacifica to Shuren and all the way to the top to Stunt Road, there's Saddle Peak up there. And there used to be an abandoned swimming pool up there called the Voodoo Bowl. And I knew the property owner, right? And so I was living up at the top of this 360-degree mountaintop with my own pool to skate, locked behind a fence. And I used to just sit up there overlooking the world, dude. Like literally like a $1 billion view. Just the best view ever with my own private pool to skate. Full permission to be there. And I was camping out there and I would drink. And sometimes I would drink and there was like this old cement slab that kind of overhung the mountain a little bit. And I'd get my music on and my buzz on. And sometimes I would be literally the king of the world. The king of the world. Just, yeah. Yeah, king of the world. And then other nights I was just the most bummed out, miserable dude ever. And no matter which one of those conditions I was in, I would wake up in the morning and be Hiroshima, Nagasaki. So I'd started calling myself Hiroshima, Nagasaki about, I don't know, 3 or 4 years before I get sober. And the whole reason I called myself Hiroshima, Nagasaki, besides just being like pissed off at the world, was that I didn't want to talk to anyone, dude. I didn't want to be part of anybody's scene. I was an isolationist. I was a loner. I just wanted people to stay the F away from me. So I would walk with my head down and a scowl and the thing. And it's, if you got past all the bad vibes coming off me and actually like got to the thing and we had to do an introduction and you're like, oh, my name's Tim, dude. Like, what's your name? I'd be like, it's Hiroshima, Nagasaki, dude. And it was always one of those things that would get people to be like, where do we go from here? And that was always the point, dude, is there's nowhere to go from here with me, dude. Like, I want you to be gone and off this planet with all 8 billion of your insane asshole friends, dude. And you guys can suck it and get away from me. You've got nothing I want. You've got nothing to offer. And so I was rolling pretty hard like that. I had my little crew of like partiers and I showed up for work every day. I was a full carpenter and worked on a crew and would go and butcher wood and nail it together and, hang out with the boys and do the whole thing. So I worked every day, I did my thing and I get off work and start drinking. I wasn't a dude who drank at work. I didn't like to drink. And, I'm operating saws and stuff. I just didn't do that. Smoke a little weed here, but the weed had turned on me before. By the end, the weed had turned on me. I wasn't that into smoking weed or doing anything like that. So Hiroshima, Nagasaki's living up at this abandoned skate pool, right? And you can go back in my early videos, dude. It's the one where I'm with Elijah Burrell and all those dudes up there. And I have all those dudes up to skate when I get sober. And so I'm up there hiding out, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Some nights I'm king of the world. Other nights I'm horrified. I don't drink and drive. I once it gets dark, I stay put. I got my network of mountain roads dialed, dude. I have all these other like pads that are developed, but they're locked, and I have a series of locks all up and down the Santa Monica Mountains with rusty keys that I can get into. I got my scene dialed, dude. I got my car rigged to camp out of, dude. I got my surfboards. I dress all buttoned down, the whole thing. I got my scene is like pretty perfected, dude. I'm living like some sort of weird surfer's dream, but I'm miserable and I'm pissed and I'm about to turn 40, right? And so no matter which one of these realities would be at during the night, I'd wake up every day like Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And I used to wake up in the morning and just wish for mushroom clouds. You got to remember, I got this view over Los Angeles and the San Fernando Valley and the whole thing. Like I can see the world, dude. And I was just like, every morning I'd wake up and just be like, let today be the mushroom clouds, please, dude. Let today be the like, let's get this over with. This sucks. I don't like this, dude. And it was that thing like, oh, poor lonely boy, dude. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, right? Well, I wanted someone to come help me, but like literally I was locked behind a chain link up on top of some mountain where nobody knew where I was. And if you got a hold of me, because right, the cell phones had just kind of come out at that point. If you'd gotten like called me, you would have gotten my answering machine, which was don't leave a message, F you. Like literally, that was my message on my phone for years was don't leave a message, F you, dude. Click. And so nobody was gonna call me, nobody was coming to look for me. And life was passing me by, man. And I used to sit up there on top of the world and be like, I blew it, dude. Like I missed life, dude. I don't have any kids. I don't have anybody. I'm just sitting up here, lonely, angry surfer dude with some skateboards and some surfboards, sitting in an abandoned pool with the world's greatest view. And what's the point, dude? And hating the world. And so at a certain point, I'm sitting up there and I just in the middle of one of those nights, man, I just call out to God, dude. I just like, God, man, help me, dude. And it's not like a help me with anything. It's just like straight help me, dude. Like help me, dude. Don't not help me get sober, not help me get rich, not help me go to Tahiti, not help me find a girlfriend, not help me anything. Just straight God help me, dude. Help me, God. Help me. Help me. Help me. Cause I was like that was it. And so I asked God to help me. And about 3 days later, I'm I'm up there. I got a bunch of skaters up at the pool, dude. Cause there was like there was the Etnies Bowl down below. So I would go skate the Etnies Bowl where there was like people, and then see who was there, and I would invite them up to the Voodoo Bowl, which I had under lock and key. I'd be like, "You guys want to skate at like a real pool, dude? Like, come on up, dude." So I think the last night I had some skate photographers up there. I think I had like all the young dudes. I think I had Kern Caples up there. I had Shane Borland. I might dude that night. A bunch of dudes skating, dude. And I'm up there I was drinking Mickey's Big Mouths, dude. Drinking a bunch of Mickey's Big Mouth. And like it was starting to get dark, and I would never drive my car after it got dark, right? I'd drink during the day. I didn't care about that. But at night, I was super paranoid about it, right? So I was like, oh, I got to go, dude. I got to get some beer before it gets dark, right? So I'd skated with all these dudes. And I was like, all right, just lock the gate when you guys are done, dude. Like, it's all good. And I went down to the bottom of the canyon and I parked in my little stash spot, dude. And I was sitting there and I was gonna like you gotta walk around there's like a little liquor store, a little country liquor, dude, where I'd started my drinking career some 25 years earlier at like, 15, dude. And so I was going over to country liquor to get some snacks and some food and do all that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna go over to the screaming. It's not. It used to be the sea lion, but it's not the sea lion. I think it was Duke's. Then I was like, let me go over to the Duke's and sit at the bar and drink some drinks at the bar. So I went over to Duke's and I sat at the bar and got hammered, dude, on like alcohol. Ah. So I got hammered on alcohol and I was like, okay, dude, I got to make it over to the liquor store before it closes at 10 o'clock, right? So I go over to the liquor store, and if it's like my local store, it's like my local canyon, my local area, dude. I grew up in, dude. Like it's my zone, dude. But it's got this real small parking lot on the side of the PCH, Pacific Coast Highway, dude. So there's only like 12 parking spots, and they're diagonal, and it's like one of those things where it's just like the parking is a nightmare there, right? So I go rolling up to the liquor store and I'm sitting there and I get like a 12 pack and a pack of Marlboros and some chips and some Slim Jims. And I'm walking out of the liquor store, dude. And these dudes in a BMW park crooked across the parking spots, right? Like sideways, like I was going to rush in and get something. And they park sideways, and the one dude who's driving just bolts right in the market. And the other dude hops out and leans against the car and starts smoking a cigarette, dude. And this is like a bashed up old hockey player. Turns out it's bashed up old hockey player from Boston, dude. Big, buff, gnarly dude, like with the skull cap on, like just a dude you would not mess with. Well, Hiroshima Nagasaki's like playbook back in the day was like I would go pick fights at bars, not planning on winning. Like that was my whole like trip, dude. Like, and no one would like, it was weird. Like people just knew I was crazy because I'd go pick fights with like people just to get knocked out because I couldn't stop my mind. I wasn't a blackout drinker, dude. I could drink all night and not black out, dude. Like I remembered everything, dude, right? So I used to go and like, get drunk at the bar and just start trouble, dude, and try to get someone to knock me out, dude. So whatever. So I go up to this dude who's parked leaning up against the car, just another big bloke with a cigarette and, gnarly teeth and he's already leaning against the cigarette. I'm vibing them. You got to understand. Like I roll out. I'm like, who do you guys think you are parking crooked here, dude? Like who do you think you are parking crooked here? Like you're obviously not from around here. This is not cool. Like, so Deputy Dog, Hiroshima Nagasaki rolls hard with this like local badge. And it's like, you guys you're out of towners, dude. You don't park like this here. It's not cool. And so the dude's sitting there with the smoke. He's not saying a word. He's just listening to me run my mouth. I got my bag full of beer and Slim Jims, and I get out my cigs, and I'm like, hey, I need a light, dude. So I get up in this dude's face with my like cigarette. Like, I need a light. He's like, all right. I come in, dude. And this is where the miracle happens, dude. This dude looks me in the eye, dude. And it's God. God's right there staring back through Joe Shaughnessy's eyes. Dude, Joe Shaughnessy's passed away, so I can say his name with love and reverence, dude. So Joe Shaughnessy's sitting there smoking his cigarette, and I see the light of God in his eyes, dude. So that's all I'll tell you, dude. I'm hammered, but I got that moment of clarity. I see the eye of, there's D. Bruin, D. Bruin, my brother, right there. David Bruin was the dude driving the car, dude, right there. So I looked this dude in the eye, I see God staring me right back. And like I instantly go, I need help, dude. Like, I don't know why I asked this guy. There's no reason I asked this dude for help. There's nothing telling me this dude's one of us, dude, right? I just go, I need some help, man. And he's like, all right. Smoking a cigarette. All right. He's like, all right, what are you gonna do? What are you doing, dude? I'm like, hammered, dude. I got, I need help. He's like, oh, I'm a sober guy. Yeah. I go, well, you're supposed to help me. He's like, all right, here's my card. Here's my card. Take my card. Call me in the morning, dude. Just go drink your beers. Get away from me, little man. Go drink your beers, dude. And I'm like, no, dude. I get all pissed. No, dude. No, you're supposed to help me, dude. I know this. You're a sober dude, which means you're supposed to help me. I'm demanding help from you, dude. And so this dude's like, look, man, you're hammered. Call me in the morning, dude. Just call me in the morning, dude. It's all good. Just take your beers and go, dude. I'm like, dude, I'm pretty aggressive when I drink, right? So I'm like, yeah, you suck, man. You're supposed to help me, bro. So I turned to walk away. And I turned back one more time. This request number 3. I turned back, and Joe at the time is studying the 3 requests and Jesus, and he's all into like, he's deep, super dialed in spiritual dude, man. So he's all listed. He's been in this 3 request thing, dude. So I turn around for the 3rd request. I go, dude, you're supposed to help me, man. And he's like, all right, what are you going to do with the bag full of beer? And I'm like, I'm done with it. And I throw it in the trash can. I slam it in this trash can right there. I go, I'm done with this, dude. And he's like, all right, get in the car, dude. And right as he's like, get in the car, my buddy David Rudes walking out the door. So they had stopped at the liquor store to buy cream for their coffee in the morning, right? So he comes walking out of the liquor store, and this Joe's like, get in the car, right? And you have to understand, Hiroshima and Nagasaki don't roll with nobody, dude. I'm at war with the world, dude. I'm not getting in people's cars. I'm not down with it. No, but I'm like, this dude's like, get in the car. So I get in the car with Joe and David, and they drive up a canyon, and they drive up this canyon, and they got this house going on up top of the hill, right? And they sit me down, and there's this other dude, Ross is there, and he's like, what's going on? And I think there was another dude there. I'll leave his name out of it. And there's also a famous musician's daughter there, or daughter-in-law there, right? And they bring me in, and they're like, all right, dude, like, you live here now. I'm like, all right, like, I don't even think they take my beer. I know I'm done drinking the beer. The beer's in the trash can. I get my smokes back. I'm up there smoking with these dudes, smoking cigarettes. And I'm yapping because I get pretty talkative, dude, when I get hammered. And I'm talking and whatever. They're like, look, dude, like, this is how it's going to work, man. You stay here now. And I'm like, no, dude, I got to go to work in the morning. I got a job up in Topanga, dude. I got to be at work in the morning. I'm super like about it. I don't show up late for work. I'm like, I got to be at work in the morning. And they're like, dude. And I go, look, man, if you guys aren't going to like hook me up, like, I got to have my car, dude, in the morning. I got to go to work, dude. And they're like, I'll just walk right now, dude. Like, whatever, dude. And they're like, all right, man, like, let's go get your car. So we load up, and they go and they drive my car back up, my little red pickup truck, back up to this house, right? So they get my car there, I park my car. So whatever. I pass out finally, dude. I pass out. I wake up in the morning. And I'll never forget it, dude. I'll never forget. I wake up in the middle of this. This is Malibu, right? So this is not an unusual type of scenario to wake up in some like big giant house, dude, right? And I wake up in some big giant like oak lined like living room with a huge fireplace. And I'll never forget there's this giant, this has significance, but I can't get into why it has significance. There's just this giant oil painting of this like sailing ship, like an old British man of war, the Constitution, or one of those type of sailing ships, a big war sailing ship above the fireplace, dude, over the mantle, dude. And I wake up and I just see this thing there, and I'm like, whoa, dude, like, where am I, man? Like, I'm like, where am I, dude? Like, I don't know, dude. Like, where am I, dude? And I'm like, dude, I gotta go to work. I'm like, I gotta go to work. There's no one around the house. It's like I just wake up in this big house. I've had it happen a bunch of times before. So I gotta go to work. I figured my car was there, dude. I figured I was just somehow ended up at some house, like whatever. I don't know, really. So I get up. I'm seeing this big painting. I'm in this oak lined room. I go to I go out, I get in my car, I drive to work, right? I drive to work. And part of the deal these dudes had made with me the night before was they're like, look, dude, we'll go get your car, the whole thing, whatever, dude. We will be, they were like, when do you get off work, dude? I go, I get out, 3 o'clock. I'm up in Topanga. Like, they're like, all right, dude, at 4 o'clock or whatever it is, we'll meet you at the liquor store, dude. No, they're like, we'll meet you at the liquor store again. And I'm like, all right, like this, I'm hammered at the time. I'm like, all right, sure, dude. Like, yeah, okay. Like, yeah, I'll meet you at the liquor store tomorrow at 4, dude. Like, fine. Yeah, okay, cool, dude. Whatever, dude. So I leave that morning, I go up to my job site, and I'm viciously hungover as always. And I'm sitting up there at work, cutting wood for my buddy Barry I think we were building this giant thing for this artist, dude. We were working for this crazy artist guy at the time. So anyway, I'm up there cutting wood, standard hangover, sweating, just and I'm like, kind of, I'm bringing back what happened the night before, dude, because I didn't really have time to think about it. I just got up, saw the sailing stuff in the house and was like, I got to go, dude. I got to get up to work. So I get up to work and then I start putting the pieces back together. Like, so like, where was I? Like, what was going on? Like, what kind of trouble am I in, dude? Right. And so I'm working all day and I was like, those dudes, I was like, I asked those dudes to get me sober, dude. Like, are those dudes going to help me get sober? And I was like, wow, yeah, like I think so, dude. Like I'm like, am I meeting them at the liquor store at 4, dude? And I was like, am I meeting these dudes, man? Like, who are those dudes? Like, who are those weird dudes? Like, what am I'm gonna really meet these guys? Nah, I ain't meeting them. Yeah, I am. I don't know. Should I? All day at work, I'm just debating this in my head, dude, just with a hangover. Like, am I like, what does it mean? You have to understand, I don't know what it means to be sober. I got no idea what I've asked for. I've got no idea what I've put into the request machine, dude. All I know is that, dude, these dudes said they were meeting me at the liquor store, and I'm one of those dudes, man. If you say meet me somewhere, I'll meet you there, dude. So I'm like, I'm debating it, man. I'm like, dude, like, who are these dudes? And like, what is this? And all day at work, dude. Wait, we'll wait for it. Mohan is causing us trouble, dude. So I don't think they're gonna be there anyhow, dude. Whatever, dude. Why would they be at the liquor store, right? So I pull in and sure enough, dude, there's Joe sitting in the car, dude, waiting for me. He's sitting there waiting for me. I'm like, dude, he's like, he laughs, dude. And Joe's had a pretty, wide. And so I follow Joe back up to the house. I pull in and there's like some other dudes there. And there's some other, and they're like, yeah, they're like cheering, dude. Like, yeah, you made it back, dude. No way, you made it back. Like, whoa, yeah, you made it back. You made it back. So apparently it was a big deal, dude. I know what it is now, that it was a big deal, right? So I'd made it back, dude. I'd made it back to this house the next day and began my journey of sobriety. And it wasn't like, it wasn't like a overnight success. I think got 100 days. I went out. I finally pulled the trigger clean and sober from 10 1 10, dude. 1 1 10. 1 1 10. 01 0110 is my sobriety date, right? And when I came back to the house, these dudes were like, look, man, we'll help you. We'll do anything to help you get sober if you're willing to do anything to get sober, dude. And I was like, all right, dude. Yeah, sure thing, man. You got it, dude. And we must still have a bad connection, dude. I see the numbers, dude. And so I was like, all right. And this is where like I get it. Like I was willing to do anything to get sober at that point. I didn't know what sober was. I just didn't want to be miserable on top of the mountain anymore, wishing for mushroom clouds. Like I was all out of ideas, dude. I was all out of thoughts. I was all out of I had nothing left, man. And these dudes were like, look, dude, you can live here now. This place. So the irony of the story was it was a sober living. They didn't have any, they had one client, dude. So this my friend David and Joe had opened a sober living, and they had one client there, and they adopted me, dude. And they're like, dude, you like live right there on the couch, and just do what we do, dude. And I was like, all right, okay, whatever that means. And I'll tell you what, dude, like I was so desperate to like be like not be miserable anymore. Again, I say it like that because I didn't know what sobriety was. I didn't even know I wanted to be sober. I just didn't want to be like effed anymore. So these dudes didn't ask me to do anything weird. They literally could have asked me to walk backwards for a year, and I probably would have done it. They could they could have said, you got to learn to walk on your hands. And I would have been like, all right, dude, like I'll figure that out. They didn't. They were super cool. I just started going to meetings, dude. I went to meetings with David and Joe and other dudes at the house every day, dude. I go to meetings. I started doing the work. I started reading the big book. I just started hanging out with these dudes, man. And I lived at this house, dude. And the thing that happened was this is so I lived at this, I was with these dudes at this house for like a year, dude. And I saw all sorts of people come and go, dude.
7:15, 10 more minutes.
All right. You got it, bud. So I saw all sorts of people come and go, and people with resources that you can't imagine. People dialed in ways you couldn't imagine. Put it this way, there was someone there who was the daughter of one of the biggest globalists on the planet was there, dude. All right. There was like real movers and shakers were coming through this. There was me and one other kid who pulled it off, dude. This other kid who was this nerdy, like I love this kid. Good kid, man. I'm not going to mention his name either. Protect his anonymity because I think he's got a real life going on out. Like for I know he does. His dude's gnarly. But he was just some meek young dude who was just trying to figure it out, dude. And he pulled it off and I pulled it off. And I'll tell you what, dude, money won't get you sober, dude. It's not a money thing, dude. It's a desire. And it wasn't easy. Like I said, dude, like the first months, dude, I fell pretty hard once in the deal. I pulled it off. You know, I made huge mistakes. I got involved with the hand grenade in the beginning. Like I did everything wrong, dude, except I went to meetings every day, dude. Sometimes 2, sometimes 3. I think once I did 6 meetings in a day. It was like a rainy day. I was like, let me see how many meetings I can do in a day. But you know, I just did the deal, dude. I just showed up. I got commitments. I took the chips. I raised my hand. I shared. I didn't want to do any of it, dude. But you got to understand, I'm not a joiner. I wasn't there to make friends. I didn't want any new friends. I wasn't looking to be social. I wasn't looking for anything like that. But I was so willing to change my reality that I stuck it out, dude. And I'll tell you what, dude, I heard all the excuses, man. When it came meeting time, when it came time to go to the meeting, I'll tell you what, pretty much everyone who ever said that they were in my journey of sobriety, anyone who's ever chosen to go to the gym versus go to a meeting's relapsed. It's like 100% at this point, dude. If you choose doing something else and you want to get sober versus going to a meeting, you're doomed in the beginning, dude. Because it's not about the meeting. It's about showing up to places and getting into God's will, dude. Right? So that's what I learned. Like, and I did have the spiritual component coming in. Like, I was a believer in God. I didn't have a definition of what God is like I do now. Like, I never would have been rolling with like a shirt like that back in the day, dude. I was very much God is, but what is it? I don't know. And so I went on this journey of self-exploration. And I had these 2 dudes, David and Joe, as my co-pilots. And these dudes weren't easy on me. Like, there was no like hand holding. There was like nuts and bolts broness, dude. Like, do you want to be a F-wit, dude? Go ahead, dude. We're not going to stop you. Do you want to walk off this mountain? Go right ahead, dude. We ain't going to stop you, dude. But if you want to stay, you can stay, dude. And trust me, I walked away. Of course I did, dude. And then I came back, dude. And I was like, dude, can I have my couch back? And they're like, yep, your couch is waiting for you, dude. Like, glad you came back, dude. And so, because you got to figure it out. Because again, the thing that you got to figure out is you don't know how to figure it out. Like, I didn't know how to figure it out. And so this adventure began. And I'll tell you, it's an adventure. Like sobriety is the greatest adventure anyone can have. It is better than any sci-fi novel, dude. It is like science fiction, nonfiction on steroids, dude. Like, you don't know what you're signing up for when you get sober, dude, because you meet this wild group of people along the way, dude. Just wild people, all of them renegades, dude. Everyone. That's the thing with sobriety, dude. Like, nobody in sobriety's like, who's sober is weak. Everybody who's in sobriety is a freaking warrior, dude, who's gouged out their eyes and to prove that to themselves that they're worthwhile. You got to understand, like, to be sober means that you literally went and smashed your head against the curb till your eyes popped out and your fingernails disappeared, clawing at the walls of reality till you were like, dude, I'm ready to get sober, dude. I'm all done with this human form bullshit, dude. I'm ready, dude. Like, what is it, dude? And it's like, all right, dude, like it's punk rock, hardcore DIY godness, dude. Like, let's get into it. Let's just fully stick your hand in the blender and just thank God that it's just getting obliterated. Blah! And so nobody in the sobriety thing is like, I don't know what people think sober people are from the outside, but nobody who's sober is a pussy, dude. Like whether you're man, female, transgender, whatever it is, if you're sober and you actually stuck it out to get some time, it's because you're a freaking warrior, dude. Because in order to stay, getting sober is doable, dude. Staying sober and understanding what sobriety is the warrior's path, dude. Because it's got nothing to do with drugs and alcohol. It's got to do with looking yourself in the mirror constantly and being like, bam, dude, and being like, okay, dude, like that wasn't a great idea. What am I going to do now, dude? Okay, God, what are we doing now? God's like, stop punching yourself in the face. Look at yourself. I love you as God. Dude, like it's not because God's inside of you and everywhere and the thing, but that's for you to figure out along the way, right? So we get to this thing where you get to join. It's like Fight Club, dude. It really is. Sobriety is like Fight Club. We're everywhere. You don't know who we are. We all know who we are when we know who we are because we all speak the coded language, dude. We all have the metaphysical black eye, dude. We're all missing that little thing, and we all say the same things. And you know, when you hear the signal, you're like, oh, that's a sober brother or sister right there. And that person, because we know what we are, means that they'll help you pretty much without any questions asked. Like sober people are beautiful. Yeah, we're all lunatics. We're a bunch of, and we got every problem that the world's got, dude, but we're sober, dude. Which means that we have an understanding about how brutal this life can be. And that we try to solve the brutality of our life with something that no longer works for us, right? Because the drugs and alcohol still work for us. We'd still be using them, dude. Don't worry, I'll finish on time. You got 7 minutes left. And so what I guess what I'm trying to say is like, yeah, if you want into the wildest club on the planet, dude, it's there for you, dude. It's the last house on the street, dude. It's the last party on the last house on the last street on Spaceship Earth, dude. And when you get into that house, it is bumping, bump, 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 bump. But it's not bumping because like we're loaded. It's bumping because we're actually like making some crazy, wild things happen, dude. Look, dude, a lot of those people that you think are like pulling it off out there are like sober, dude. Like, dude, like most of your big, like if you're a skateboarder, like the gnarly dudes are all sober at this point, dude. And there's the ones that aren't, of course, but like at a certain point, they all sober up, dude. Same with surfers, same with the skiers and the firemen and the cops and the soldiers and the whole thing, dude. Like the real warrior's path is to go full tilt boogie, ram yourself into the wall as fast as you can and realize that you can't break through that raw wall with drugs, alcohol, and the whole thing. I said I will be done. I have a timer going. Please do not disturb me, or I'm not gonna like. You're sneaking, you're sneaking, dude. I caught you, dude. It's fine, bud. You can come in. I'm almost done, dude. Okay. And so, look, man, if it wasn't for David and Joe parked crooked in front of a liquor store, owl. I don't have an owl. This dude, I don't get this dude in my life.
What?
This is the gift. Yeah.
Money.
So like I'm saying is like I didn't get sober to be dad. I didn't get sober to have a farm in Kernville. I didn't get sober to be a YouTube haircut guy. I didn't get sober for any other reason except I just ran out of everything inside of myself. I was devoid of any answers. So if you're a warrior and want to get on the warrior's path, there's a way to do it, dude. And you can call central office in your town, Western world. It probably works the same anywhere in the modern Western world. You just type in your town and type in AA, and you'll get some numbers. Call those numbers. There'll probably be a list of meetings. Go to one of those meetings, raise your hand and go, I am an alcoholic and I need help. And you're going to find a bunch of lunatic warriors who will bend over backwards to help you, dude. Because the only way we get to stay sober is by helping another alcoholic achieve sobriety, dude. The only way I got sober is because two sober dudes parked crooked at a liquor store to buy milk.
20, this is
Out, you can't interrupt, dude. You can hang out. No, where I've got limited time, dude. So, Owl. So, with that said, it's we lift each other up through the thing. And if you get sober, you get to help someone, dude. But your life gets to have meaning, dude. And it's you don't get to just help yourself, dude, because you don't care about ourselves anymore. We care about helping other people, right? So, with that said, I gave you the way to find a meeting. Type in your city AA central office. A meeting will come up. And if you're suicidal tonight, dude, and you just don't want to live anymore, dude, please call 988. That's a 3-digit code in the United States, which will get you to the suicide prevention number, dude. And there's also like a suicide prevention number. Just call, ask for help. There's no, what are you doing, dude?
Oh my God, look. 7:31 p.m. already.
Yeah, but this is the timer, dude. I got a minute left, dude. I got you.
What?
I started a minute late because you were bugging, dude. It's your fault. So anyway, look, your life's important. Your life's valuable. You have no idea what your life's here for until you give it a chance, dude. Okay. So it's worthwhile, dude. I couldn't have told you what was going to come my way when I asked for help from those two dudes in front of a liquor store. But I'll tell you what, it's there's the number in Australia. The lifeline in Australia is 131114. It's not a great number, dude. I mean, that's a good number, dude, but it's 3 ones. It's confusing, dude. Typical Australians. I don't think they're trying to save your life. Canada, 1-833-456-4566 and 988 in the United States of America. Just be good to each other. God has blessed us. And with that said, good night, and we're out.